Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Today it's show 49. Today is 5/5/14. And today's show is called Solarize Brookfield. And guys, I got some exciting news for you. I mean, some really exciting news. And I know you're probably going to say, what is it? Because it's Cinco de Mayo, we're going to party? No, we're going to party because tomorrow Brookfield is going to launch their Solarize Brookfield campaign. That's right, guys. This is going to be phase 4. If you go to the town hall at 7 o'clock, they're going to explain everything to you. And we're going to try to explain everything to you as well tonight. You know, and the whole idea behind the solarization is to buy in volume. It's volume purchasing. And the fact that it makes the permitting so much easier. And the fact that you're only using one installer. And the fact that the guys aren't driving all over the place. They're doing house after house. It just makes everything so smooth. And so anyway, you know, the whole idea with solarization is to rent your roof. That's what it comes down to. You're really gonna rent your roof. Now, you know, this is an event that happens once in a lifetime, guys. So get down to the town hall tomorrow and you can participate. If you got questions, you can ask them, you know? And like when it comes to putting solar panels on your roof, you know, on earlier shows, I've equated it to putting a tattoo on your roof. Well, yeah, everybody's putting tattoos all over everything. Put a tattoo on your roof and make money doing it. You know, rent out your roof. Guys, like I've said before, I don't care if you want to be warm and fuzzy by putting solar panels on your roof. And I don't care if you want to be cold and greedy. Makes no difference. And I don't care if you want to be warm and greedy, or I don't care if you want to be cold and fuzzy. As long as you put them on your roof and you start generating your own electricity. So guys, tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow, the program, the solarization program, is being offered by Cephia and Smart Power. And the whole idea behind it, it relies on the community to provide outreach and education to create awareness and to build interest. And they have a clear end date. So it's by September 30th. All the people that sign up, and we're going to show you how the tiers work, and we're going to try to answer all the questions. And Tony Bouchard, who runs the program, says it can be cash positive. Hey, can you imagine putting money in your pocket just from renting out your roof? So the phase is going to start, and let's see. So, what's that? Hold on, I'm getting a message from the control room. John, what are you trying to tell me? There's an update? What's that? You got a news flash? There's breaking news? Jaw-dropping? Eyebrow raising? Fox News just did what? Fox News just declared a war on solar energy? It's not possible. It's not possible. Wasn't their war on Christmas enough? And then they had the war on Easter. That wasn't enough? Now they got to have a war on solar? John, you got to tell me this ain't true. Show us the video.
Great news, people. The largest solar plant in the world is in the works right now. The bad news is it will vaporize birds, blind drivers, and flip planes.
It's this complete fantasy to think at some point we're going to harness the power of the sun. solar is weak and has not been very effective.
The technology is not ripe, it's not ready.
It's not applicable really on a mass scale.
We tried to compete in a market that we shouldn't be competing in, solar energy.
Half the time, solar panels don't even work. Half the time they do work, they produce expensive electricity. I mean, this is just lose, lose, lose for America. We can't do it here.
Why does the taxpayer have to be the one footing the bill to try and see if solar power works?
If it comes, the market will tell us. The market says these companies are worthless.
They're not responding to demand. They're providing something that doesn't work.
I want an energy policy that works, not this nonsense of supporting wind and solar.
The solar industry is leading the country. It's going right down the toilet.
Why are you guys all knocking this stuff? You know, you're going to
Because it doesn't work.
You're going to run out of this dinosaur stuff after a while.
Brookfield, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you heard it. I mean, they no bones about it. Fox News says that solar doesn't work. So I guess I'm gonna pick up my bear and go home. No more sense wasting my time trying to solarize something if it doesn't work. Guys, this is why I get so angry with Fox News. You saw it. You saw the clip. You see how deceitful they are. And if you don't like it, too bad. These guys are evil. You know, they're climate deniers. They deny everything. They deny, it makes me crazy. But guys, tonight's show is going to be virtually all about solarizing Brookfield. And I mean, we're going to show you a bunch of clips. And some of the stuff that we're going to go to tonight is we're going to show you a solarization meeting that was done by CTEC. CTEC is an installation company. They did the solarization in Mansfield. So we'll show you some clips from them. And then we're going to show you a CTEC installation party, which is a blast. They show the solar panels going up, and they got the barbecue going, and they got the neighbors out there. And guys, this is what it's about: community involvement. And so we're going to show you that, and then we're going to show you on my website how you can connect with houses like Mary Lou, and you can actually see the solar panel production, how much electricity she's generating every day, you know, by the hour. Oh, it's unbelievable. Well, you'll see the whole video. Everything will be explained. And then, let's see. Then we're going to go to the Wayback Machine again, guys. Now, really, we're going to go back to show number 20. We're going to go all the way back to July 2nd last year. And guys, we're going to show you some clips that at the time, when you see the one house in Mansfield, it's gonna knock you out. And then once again, we're going to show you another clip from Fox. And you're going to say, Rich, why with Fox? Because guys, it's like a snake. You got to cut the head off. That's it. No more playing games with these boneheads. I've had it with them. I mean, I sit there and I get disgusted watching Fox. And why do I do it? I do it for you. No, I do it for me, guys, so I can bada bing them. So anyway, then we're going to look at a clip from Solarize Enfield, and there's two women, and it's so cute because one wants to buy the panels outright, and the other one wants to lease solar panels. So right away, I thought of remember the old Miller Lite commercials? Great taste, less filling. Great taste, less filling. Guys, that's what we got to do with solar power, you know? I mean, we got to do it for the money, do it. It doesn't matter, just do it. Just do it. So we're going to show you that clip. We're going to show you how to invest in solar, and then our last clip will be on Tesla. Guys, Tesla sold their first models in China. And I'll tell you, Tesla's going to take off in China. We still don't know where the Gigafactory is going to be built. I have no idea yet. And when they finally announce it, you know, like we've said on earlier shows, that's where you want to move. They're going to put 6,500 people to work. That's going to be big. All right, so anyway, let's take a look at what the CTEC meeting, the solarization meeting, let's take a look at what we have to look forward to tomorrow night in Brookfield. John, hit it.
So the big question, why solar? Declining supply of traditional fossil fuels coupled with increased customer demand has resulted in exponentially increasing electrical rates. Indeed, Connecticut actually has the second highest electrical rates in the country. At the same time, Connecticut's been a big leader in facilitating and backing renewable energy technologies, particularly with the solar rebate program through SOFIA. In addition, there's a 30% federal tax credit, so this really represents the lowest cost you can possibly get on solar equipment and the best possible return on your investment. So how does it work? Essentially, we put solar PV or solar electric panels up on the roof of your house. During the day when the sun's shining, they turn sunlight directly into DC electricity, which we then bring down through wires and filaments to an inverter, which converts the DC into AC, which all the appliances in your house use. So during the day when the sun's shining, you're producing electricity. Anything you're running in the house will actually pull from the electricity coming off the roof first. Anything extra you produce will go back out into the electrical grid through a specialized meter the utility will install at the time of installation, and you'll receive a credit for that. So at night, when there's no sun, you're not producing electricity, you still actually pull from the electrical grid for your electrical needs, but you don't have to pay. You can apply the credits you accrued and get a one-to-one savings on your bill. Likewise, you can carry these credits from month to month across the year. So depending on the amount of available space that you have on your roof and the size of your electric bill, we can size a system that could annually cover up to 100% of your electrical needs.
Sure. The question was looking for an explanation of our tiered pricing system. So the whole concept of Solarize, as Smart Power and Sophia had mentioned earlier, is to get solar, make it simple, and make it do it together. And the way you do it together, when you do it together, you actually have the opportunity for the entire group to lower their price. So our first tier is set up at a price point of $359 a watt for solar. And as you get through the 5 tiers, you have a price of $332. So it goes from $359 to $332. There's a certain amount of systems that would have to be installed or contracted to get to each tier. And how it breaks down really with the average is the first tier, if we contract 4 projects, we'll get through that tier. If we contract 4 more on top of that, we'll get through the second tier. If we contract 16 more after that, we'll get you through the 3rd tier. Another 16 after that, we'll get you through the 4th tier and on to the 5th tier.
So the pricing, which I'm sure everybody was looking forward to getting to. So this is a sample price for tier 1. So for a 7.68 kW system, an average size system, you're looking at a system cost of $27,571 out of pocket, less the Connecticut rebate of $9,649. That's 35% of the cost of the system. Federal tax credit of 30% of the cost of the system. Subtotal is $12,545, less your first year electrical savings. You're looking at a first year out-of-pocket expense of $10,979. If you assume a 3% a year escalation rate for the cost of electricity, you'd be looking at a 6.5-year simple payback on the system. In addition to the options to buy a system outright, we also wanted to offer a zero money down finance option, which we have done through a partnership we have with Admirals Bank, which is our solar loan program. The basic impetus behind it is to provide an opportunity for people to go solar with zero money out of pocket and to fix a monthly payment that's slightly below what you're currently paying for electricity so you can be cash flow positive immediately. So to summarize, we offer both photovoltaic and solar thermal options, utilizing industry-leading equipment and technology, tiered pricing to give everyone the best you possibly can get for your community, satisfy a full range of homeowner budgets, financing options, and we're a local Connecticut company with made in US purchasing options.
It's a mystery. We didn't know we were coming back. All right, guys, so now you get an idea, of how this is going to work tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, later on we're going to have my website up. If you have any questions, we're going to try to develop a section of the website for questions. So John, who's my director, I'm putting the pressure on him because also John runs the website. So John, maybe if we can get a question and answer period like we put up there for Lawrence Krauss, but guys, we're going to show you the website in a minute. But first we're going to party. That's right. In honor of Cinco de Mayo, we're going to have a little fiesta, and we're going to show you what it's like. This is a nice installation, and just watch how they got the barbecue going, and everybody's on. You'll enjoy it. John, hit it.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've wanted solar for so long, and I was waiting for a program like this program that's run by C-Tech Solar and the town of Mansfield in Tolland County. And as soon as I read about it, I called C-Tech, set up an appointment. They came down, and I said, where do I sign? Oh, C-Tech Solar has been wonderful. Jeff Pipeling and I corresponded by email, and he said, your house, we will treat it like our own. And I like that. And they've been very considerate, and they just came in, we set up the plan, and they took care of everything. I didn't have to do anything except come here today and talk to you.
It's going really smooth. This is a microinverter system, 28 panels. They're phono panels. We're putting the panels down right now. We've been here for about 2 days before today. Typically it takes us 2 to 3 days to do an install like this, depending on the roof and the pitch. After the system's installed, we usually have an inspection as soon as possible from the town. After the town inspects it, they go back, they put a work request in, CLMP comes out within 7 to 14 days, and they install their net meter, and at that point we can come back and turn the system on. This install is going really well. It's a nice clean look, 14 panels on top of 14 panels, and it's going well. I think the system's going to do very well, actually. It's nice.
I'm Tony Bouchard. I'm Vice President of Smart Power, and Smart Power is working with the Clean Energy Finance and Investment Authority in Connecticut to run all of the Solarize projects across the state of Connecticut. And we're very excited right now to be in Mansfield and working with the towns of Mansfield and Windham to help them have more solar installed in the next few weeks. The Solarize Connecticut project works really well because it's a group buy that helps bring discounts to people so that they get the benefit of much lower cost by coming together as a community to do that group buy. So if it's something you've wanted to do, it's a perfect opportunity to do it because there's ways to make it actually cash positive for you. So it's a great alternative. Come find out about it. Visit the www.solarizect.com website. Get lots of information there, and it can help you go solar.
Did you see what Tony Bouchard said there, guys? She said this could be cash positive. Now, I think you can only generate up to 100% of your power. But these are all questions that we're going to be able to ask tomorrow. so that this way we'll dot the I's and cross the T's. And the next thing we're going to do is, it's one thing to talk about something. It's another thing to show you. And guys, what we're about to show you now is this is a website hookup with Mary Lou's house in New Fairfield. She invited me up, and the link enables me to see what her solar production is the whole year. It's wild. So I'll shut up and I'll let the video do the talking. So John, the wait's over. Hit it. Okay, round two. Guys, right now I'm on my website with whostellingthetruth.org. Don't forget the .org. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, we have home and then we have live renewable energy. So we're going to click on that. And on the live renewable energy, up at the top, you're going to see it says live turbine data. And under that is live solar data. So we're going to click on live solar data. And this is going to take us to Mary Lou's house up in New Fairfield. She was nice enough to invite me up there. And anyway, this is her solar energy production for the year. So you could see January and February weren't up to par with March and April. March and April's averages were over 400. And the nice thing about this, you could do this by the year, by the month. I'll click on month and we'll change everything. There you go. So you can see every day exactly what she produces. I mean, this is no holds barred. I mean, she can't, Monday, there was Sunday and Monday's only halfway through. Then you could see as far as the day goes, look, the sun started shining around 7 o'clock this morning. She started generating electricity. And look how it jumps up towards the... So, guys, what we want to try to do is get more people like Mary Lou who would like to put their homes up. And, we can deduct something if you don't want your name on there or anything like that. But I want to go back now, and I want to take a look at the live turbine data. So let's see. There we go. So now the live turbine data, and this is from a wind turbine from the University of Maine. And right now, let's see, the wind speed is 14.5 miles an hour. The blade pitch is 1.6 degrees. The rotor RPM is 28.4. Isn't this wild, guys? And it shows how much they've generated. And when we scroll down, you can see, and the months will change as I click on them. See, there's August. See, the summer months were terrible. But September picked up, October. I don't know what happened in December. I don't know if they had the thing shut off or something. But, I mean, you could see exactly how much. And, guys, don't forget. Now, this is in March. They had their best month, 87,000 kWh. And once again, the average house consumes about 960 kWh a month. So theoretically, guys, this wind turbine would have fed 80 homes for the month. And all right, so let's click back out of this. We'll go back to the website. But enjoy the website, and if we're going to try to dial it up and have questions. So that if you have any questions, you'll be able to ask them on the website and we can answer everything. We have one section of that called Getting Croused in honor of Lawrence Krauss. He's one of the brightest guys I've ever listened to. He's a scientist from the University of Arizona, from the Origins Project. He's unbelievable. So we have a section just for him because he's so brilliant. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the website. Now you can see whenever you want to see either the live turbine or the solar generation from individual residences or hopefully businesses too in the future, all you got to do is click on whostellingtruth.org and you'll be able to get all the information. All right, guys. Talk to you later. You know, when you really sit there and you think about the potential, and I mean, Mary Lou's house only has, I think, 17 panels on it. As a matter of fact, we're going to show her house, so let's show her house, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. So, John, hit it. Okay, I think we could, oh, okay, good. This is even better. Now we're getting the whole solar view of Mary Lou's house. Look at that. I think she needs to cut this tree a little bit, because that probably interferes with the morning sun. But look at all those electrons going to work, saving her money. All right, hopefully she's home, but she said I could take pictures of the outside. Nice job, guys. All right, that's Mary. And now you saw she had 17 panels. And 81, she gets 81% of her electricity comes from the sun. And I have her, you know, they come out and they do a worksheet. I tell you, they really, the Solar City did this. They did a beautiful job. I mean, they show you everything, and she paid no money out of pocket. But, you know, we're going to talk about that later, because there's the lease programs, and then there's the programs where you could buy. So you can make your own choice. But, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to show number 20, when I was a lot younger. And we're going to show you some clips, and we're just going to let it run. So, John, hit it. You know, the one thing that they really want to try to achieve with the fund, and this is virtually their mission statement, is they want to help change the world. And the way they want to do that is, imagine residents, businesses, communities, and educators joining together to push for clean, renewable energy sources in a dedicated effort to strengthen Connecticut's economy, protect community health, improve the environment, and promote a secure energy supply for the state. What more do you need to know? When CLMP says, listen, guys, we want you to put solar manufacturing panels on your roof because we need you. Why wouldn't you want to get on board, especially if you're going to save money? And when you see some of the clips tonight, you're going to go, you really saved that much money? I mean, things happen. But, you know, you guys have been following the show. You know what Elon Musk is all about. You know what Tesla's all about. If you don't, you can go back to some of the other older shows on YouTube. You know, I mean, hopefully it'll be an education for everybody. And, you know, the one thing that we always try to do here is we try to offer validity to everything that we say and do. And, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Yours truly made a mistake last week. An honest mistake. And why did I make a mistake? Because I made an assumption. The one thing that I tell everybody not to do, I did myself. And I was under the impression that when you have solar power, when the sun comes up, even if the grid's down, you're going to be able to generate electricity. Guys, that's not the truth. No, if you have a standard system, you will not generate electricity. Because if you did, you might kill the guys that were trying to fix the grid. I didn't know that. I never realized that. However, you can get a system, a battery system, which will be more money, but you're going to see it. We're going to show you a video now, and this is from WFSB, Channel 3 in Danbury. So now you see what I'm talking about, validity. because now when the local TV stations start to feature solar power, the light starts to go on. So, John, let's show everybody what Channel 3 did.
Both the feds and the state want you to get more serious about considering solar energy for your home, and they're putting money where their intentions are. Straight ahead, we'll tell you how you can get in on this. That's coming up.
And all new at 6. At 5:30, some serious incentives for local residents wanting to put up solar panels. How much money could be going back in your pockets thanks to tax credits.
Then at 6, the aim to install solar panels on their homes to cut their energy bills. And as Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Kane tells us, with the federal and state incentives now available, now is as good a time as any to get into the solar game.
The Hetrics of Durham say a number of factors went into their decision to install a solar system on their home. For Lynn, it was the chance to get away from traditional power sources.
I am trying to live as green as I can. That's the important part to me.
And then there were the power outages of the last year.
I think after the 2 recent storms, and we were out for 5 days with Irene and 6 days after the snowstorm.
The system they're getting includes battery storage, which is more elaborate than some.
We have a well, and that means no well pump and no water. We can live without the heat. Some of the lights, you can use candles, but the water, it's really hard to live without.
For her husband, cost was a major consideration.
And really now is the time to take advantage of it because there's a lot of government help, state and federal. So that was a big motivator as well.
For an average home system costing about $35,000, batteries not included, there is a state rebate of 30%, $10,500, and a federal tax credit of about 20%, another $7,000, cutting the cost roughly in half. These are rough numbers, but you get the gist of it. It makes a home solar system a lot more attractive.
This home is ideally suited for solar because it has a big south-facing roof and there's very little shading, so there's no trees around here. So this means that it'll make more production, more kilowatt hours.
A number of variables are involved in pricing out a system, but the numbers available from the feds and the state can, for some, seal the deal. For more information on the state end of all this, go to our website, click on this story, and we'll give you a link that should get you started. We're in Durham, Dan Kane, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
Live from WFSB, Connecticut's most watched local news.
Okay, where are we?
Hartford.
Oh, WFSB is in Hartford. I apologize. I thought it was in New Haven.
Forgiven.
Okay. Anyway, this next clip that we're going to show, we showed last week, but once again, I was so enamored with it. I want to show it again because, as we pick up new people, you just want to, and also to reinforce what you've already heard, because a lot of times, repetition is the mother of learning. The more you hear something, you hear it over and over again, and it starts to sink in. You know what I mean? So anyway, the next video we're going to do is why install solar panels. So John, if you can hit us.
I think solar is one of the cleanest energies that we have available to us today.
The base reason for going with solar, it was financial for us because we were actually going to end up making money on the system.
We can feed that energy back into the grid and get paid for it.
It's a one investment with a return of 7 years or less, and then it's all gravy. It's all cash in the pocket.
What's happening is that the energy utility rates continue to rise.
Avoiding that energy inflation is a huge payback, meaning they reduce their power bill to a point where their solar system is actually offsetting 50% of their power.
We're locking in and fixing the price of our utility payment, and as a result, we've locked in our energy costs for at least 25 years.
My hope is not only that we'll have a lot of people with solar panels on their roofs, but in another 5 years we'll have a lot of people driving electric cars.
Gas might hit $5, $10 a gallon. We wouldn't even care.
The whole idea here, the whole theme, is to wean ourselves off fossil fuels.
It also has great earth benefits because it reduces your carbon footprint and contribute toward the solution for global warming.
As a mother, I think it's really important that we are not contributing to carbon in the air, that we have clean air to breathe.
It's about when I turn on my lights,
that I'm not burning a lump of coal somewhere.
For every $1 million in renewable energy spent, it creates 16.5 jobs, whereas if you spend $1 million on a fossil fuel energy source, it only creates 5.
This should be fun. I mean, why shouldn't we have fun making the world a better place?
I've had strangers pull into the driveway and say, tell me about your system. So this is a representation of all the 32 panels on my roof. You find out what the system actually produced in a year.
You go to Germany, Japan, Singapore, solar farms everywhere.
Solar is not the alternative energy. Coal's the alternative energy. Solar is the original energy.
Hopefully someday I'll have grandchildren, and I'd rather leave the world a little cleaner than what it was left for me.
Okay. All right, guys. So I wanted to show that because I just felt that you know, crossed the T's and dotted the I's. And you know, when the guy said people are pulling up into my driveway, you know, to ask me about it, you know, with the Solarize campaign, believe it or not, last Saturday at 1 o'clock in Covington, you could have went up and you could have watched. They actually had a company. They were welcoming people to come and watch. I'm sure they had coffee and whatever, you know, but yeah, because a lot of people are confused. You know, they've been misled. And if they listen to Fox News, they're going to think that solar panel doesn't work. Boy, oh boy, picking on Fox News again, even when I was young, huh? But guys, we're going to put, I'd like to say, the final nail in the Fox coffin. But the 1%, they got so much money, there are no final nails. You know, all they want to do is create doubt and confusion, and they want you to think that solar doesn't work, and we want you to see how they use Fox as a tool to mislead the simple folk. That's right, I said simple folk. Uncle Joey, how are you? I hate picking on Uncle Joe because I love him, but I tell you, the elevator ain't going to the top. And, you know, and like we spoke earlier, Joe even had Solar City come out to his house, and they showed him how much he could save, and because he's a conservative, what does he have to do? He's got to cut his nose off to spite his face. Why? Because that's the way they are. They refuse to accept things. They can't accept facts. They can't accept the idea that solar works.
Telephone call.
We have a oh, how novel. It ain't, yeah, all right. Well, we're going to try this. Hello? Hello?
You're a moron.
So you called up to call me a moron? Why don't you call me so I could bitch slap you about global warming or something? Don't call me and wuss out. Get a pair, babe. Goodbye. Ah, brother. Yeah, nah, what are you going to do with these boneheads, you know? And he's probably the guy. I'm surprised he stopped watching Fox to tune into me. Bada bing! I tell you. All right, now, did we even get to the part with Fox yet? Because I tell you, this is putting salt in the wound. So, John, let's show everybody specifically how Fox misleads everybody about solar panel. Hit it.
Incredible Fox News stories from over the weekend. Fox News getting caught straight up lying, saying in a segment where they wanted to make it seem like solar power is just not really going to get going, they started saying solar power won't work in America because it's just not sunny like in Germany. So first we have Gretchen Carlson kind of saying, hey, the industry's future doesn't look too good. Let's listen to that first, Lewis, and then we'll skip forward to really the key point. Take a listen.
into solar power production. Well, today the industry's future looks dim as investments into green energy are beginning now to dry up.
Oh, she just sounds so sad, a very contrite and sad-sounding Gretchen Carlson. Let's now go to the key point that people are just laughing hysterically at because it is just such nonsense that this expert says the following. Listen to this. Brace yourselves. Not safe for children, this type of nonsense. It's very, very damaging to children who are still forming opinions about science.
Then they start to cut prices again, and then we start to throw more money. That's not a viable business solution.
What was Germany doing correct? Are they just a smaller country that made it more feasible?
They're a smaller country, and they've got lots of sun, right? They've got a lot more sun than we do. And the problem is it's a cloudy day and it's raining. You're not going to have it. I mean, this nation is vast and beautiful in its makeup. In California, it's a great solution. Here on the East Coast, it's just not going to work. So you
my. This is just incredible. I mean, this is a channel that calls itself a news channel, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, why hasn't anyone thought of that before? Why wouldn't you think that some scientist somewhere would have noticed that the East Coast is less sunny than Central Europe and therefore incapable of producing solar power, just can't do it at all? Well, let's take a look at the map and see actually what the reality is. So this map here that you see is basically a map measuring sunlight and measuring the intensity of sunlight and the annual averages that can be collected. And as you can see, on the bottom right of the image, that's Germany. And you can see from the color coding that the sunlight in Germany is very, very close, slightly more than the sunlight in where, Lewis? In Alaska. In Alaska, exactly right. And if you compare most of the U.S., with the exception of what? With the exception of the northwest tip of the U.S., which has less sun, and it starts to go in those same directions as Germany, we've got a ton of sun here. And compared, just for comparison's sake, if you look at Spain, which is on the Iberian Peninsula in southwestern Europe, we have, in a lot of the country, actually even more sunlight than there. So it must be fun being Fox News and actually producing nonsense programming, right? Imagine sitting around and saying, how about this? We'll just say that solar power won't work here because it's just not sunny enough like it is in Germany. What the hell? They'll eat it right up. And it basically happens.
They will go to any length to just keep corporate profits high, I guess.
Right.
I mean, that's really the only objective I can think of.
Yeah, and I could just feel my IQ points dropping as I watched this. After I watched this, I had to read some poetry to recover the 2 IQ points I lost from watching the story.
Scour over the dictionary for a little while.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Now, guys, you know what I want to know? Who dumbed that girl down? Now, I mean, you don't get this stupid naturally. Now, I mean, this has to be taught to you. Now, I mean, you have to sit there and somebody has to teach this to you. I mean, it's almost like these people that think the world is less than 10,000 years old. Mamma mia, you got to be kidding me. And I mean, you've got to be taught this stuff. And to call it dumbing them down, that's being nice. That's really being nice. Like when I use the term simple folk, it's because they simply just don't want to know. It's a willful ignorance, and it makes me crazy. And could you imagine if I was that girl's father? If my daughter went on TV and got something wrong, I'd say, Diana, come on, babe, get with the... Well, Dad, I have to do it for a living. I work for Fox. Then don't work for Fox. If you got to lie for a living, get another job. I go crazy with them. And you see why. I mean, you see the evidence. It's obvious. We're not pulling any punches where they said it. We didn't. We just played the clips. We just put the salt in the wound, that's all. All right, now the next clip is going to be from Solarize Brookfield. And these are what the 2 women, the one woman decided to buy her system and the other woman decided to lease it. So guys, you're going to hear both sides of the story here, and I tell you, they're both compelling. You be the judge. John, hit it.
Enfield is in the midst of a fabulous campaign called Solarize, which makes it easier and more affordable for households to go solar. I'm Melissa Everett. I'm chair of the Enfield Clean Energy Committee. I'm here with Anne Marie Dooley, a member of our committee. We've each just taken the plunge to put solar on our own homes. Anne Marie, how did you get there? What went into that decision for you?
Well, my husband and I have always been excited about going solar, but we looked at it a couple of years ago and it was still pretty expensive. But now with the incentives that the state is providing, federal tax credits, and the Enfield program that is narrowed down to 3 installers to get a better price from the installers, it's made it much more affordable.
And so you are actually purchasing a system for your home. How'd you reach that? Tell us about what you're getting and how you reached the decision.
Well, as I said, we were excited about the whole idea of solar, and this program just makes it that much easier. And we had the installers in and talked with them about the various products that are available. We are going with the lower efficiency panels because we like the idea of individual string inverters, which help to convert the energy in the panel to usable electricity. Mm-hmm. So we like that particular setup, and that's what we decided to go with.
And you're purchasing rather than leasing?
We are purchasing rather than leasing. We're looking at retirement, and we feel let's just make the outlay now, and in a way it's a good investment because we will no longer have electric bills to pay, and the cost of the project will be returned to us within the matter of probably 6 or 7 years, depending on how fast the price of electricity goes up. So it's a really good return on investment if you look at it from straight economic terms.
Which many people do, although I'm surprised at how many people are willing to just say, I want it.
All right.
Anything that you learned in the process? Any surprises or ahas?
Well, not particularly, although I have to say that part of the process is to get an energy evaluation, and that alone is a worthwhile exercise because I think it's like $75 if you have gas heating, $99 if you have oil or other source. And these folks will come in and go through your home and show you all kinds of ways to save energy. So even if you never put solar on, just having the energy evaluation is worthwhile. But now you're...
Cool, yes.
You are leasing. So
well, I am.
Why are you leasing?
Well, it's controversial. You hear people say leasing is fleecing because if you add up every dollar you put into a solar lease over more than 20 years, it's probably more than you're paying. But I'm getting those payments broken down into less than my monthly electric bill.
Exactly.
I live with my 92-year-old mom, so I'm making decisions about her money. And you know, no matter how great your 7-year payback is, we're not about 7-year paybacks. We're about regular frugal management of the cash flow. Mm-hmm. And so for people who are starting out, for people who are where my mama is, for people who just have to be really careful about their cash flow, I think a solar lease is a great thing. It is organized so that they take the risk, they maintain the equipment, they guarantee the power production, they warranty all the equipment. The panels are, as you know, going to last 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. The inverter is probably going to need to be replaced once during that lifetime. The leasing company does that. So I live a complicated enough life that I really want simplicity, and I'm really happy to pay for that. So I'm thrilled.
And you've locked in your essentially you've locked in your electric bill for the next
20 years.
20 years.
At a rate that
how can you possibly beat that?
At a rate that is lower than what I'm paying now.
Exactly.
So, there are some really lively conversations going on Facebook on some of the town's social media pages about who's making what decision and why and how you decide it's better. I'm delighted that we're getting people signing and making the decision. typically in these Solarize campaigns, there's about 30 of them around Connecticut.
Right.
And typically it's in the final weeks that almost everybody makes the decision. So Enfield, we've got our first 21 contracts signed, and we've got the buzz going. And we had the solar home tour this morning at John Manning's house, which was wonderful. We have a workshop coming up Wednesday night at the library. Anybody seeing this who is curious and wants to jump in, all the installers will be here. Kate Donnelly from Smart Power, who keeps track of every detail there is about Solarize. So it's great that there is the buzz that there is, and it's great that the decisions are getting made.
Well, it almost seems like you can't lose. Whether you lease or whether you buy, you can't lose because you're going to get your money back one way or the other. Or at least, if even leasing, as one of the installers pointed out to us, even if you've leased your panels, at the end of the term of the lease, they don't really want to take the panels back, so they're going to make a good deal for you to keep them.
Yeah, and my lease contract allows me to buy them at a very deep discount after 5 years. So read your contracts, get lots of offers, everybody, and then go for it.
There you go. That's why we have these microphones, so we can talk to each other. So anyway, guys, you get the idea. And what we need to do is we need to make a little game out of this. Like the Miller commercials, the solar panel looks great, saves money, or I don't know, somebody with a little wit. Write something in on the website, and maybe we'll have a little contest or something. But the next clip we're going to play is called Investing in Solar. And no, it's not like you're going to go to the stock market. This is done by the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources. And what they're going to do is they're just going to give you some common sense logic on how solar works. And what's going to happen is with this clip, we're going to run out of time. So John, what we're going to do is probably with 30 seconds left, we'll dump out of this clip. It looks like we won't make it to the Tesla clip, but let's watch this because I feel this is more important. So let's play the last solar clip. Hit it.
The sun, our ultimate source of life and energy. It's estimated that every hour enough solar energy reaches the Earth's surface to power the entire planet for a year. Today, many Massachusetts residents are investing in solar, and for a wide range of reasons.
Every bit of the electricity that's produced is either we're using it or we're sending it back to Instar.
We're reducing our carbon footprint from this.
My wife and I have wanted to take the right steps for the planet.
We need to get off oil. It's very important for us not to be dependent on oil, and we have the means to do it.
Massachusetts, like the other New England and Northeast states, is at the end of the energy pipeline, the natural gas pipeline. We don't have the type of indigenous fuel sources that other states can benefit from. And so it's important for us to look at a diversified fuel strategy, and renewable energy along with other fuel sources are important for Massachusetts' energy needs. In addition, Massachusetts has very strong greenhouse gas reduction goals, environmental goals, and so renewable energy and solar PV as a technology helps us meet our overall goals.
They work year-round. They're actually pretty productive in the spring and in the fall, even though it's colder, because the transistors, from what I understand, actually function better in the cooler weather than they do in the warmer weather.
The solar panels work more efficiently when they're colder. They have what's called a negative temperature coefficient. That just means on hot, sunny days, they're less efficient, and on cold, sunny days, they're more efficient.
Today, so far, we've produced 5.25 kilowatt hours of electricity, and it's only 1140 or so. So we're doing pretty well. If you look at the chart below, you can see this is yesterday, as it started to get later in the day, last night, and now the panels are beginning to produce again. So if I look at any point on the line, for example, that's 8:10 in the morning, and if I look up here, it's just about now. Well, actually, it's a half an hour behind. So I can follow the production of my electricity.
But what makes a home a good candidate for solar panels? And what factors should be taken into consideration?
This house has a great southern exposure. It has very little shading, and it's at the optimal angle, which is around 35 to 40 degrees. Makes it great for solar.
And so I'm looking at the surrounding buildings and trees and what might shade the roof, if it's shaded at all. I'm also looking at the access to the roof, because a big part of the job is the physical part of putting the panels up there, and how are we going to get up and do that? How are we going to stage the job?
I got it.
Where will we, have the electric run down to the basement? So there's roof work, there's examining the structure of the rafters, make sure the building is structurally sufficient to put solar panels on. Then you also take a look at the utility room, where the electric panel is. What kind of service does the house have? Are there open breakers in the electric panel that we can use? Things like that.
While the upfront expenses may seem steep at first, there are a number of incentives to help defray the costs.
There are the solar renewable energy certificates. There are also rebates available. There's an income tax credit that's available. There's a sales tax exemption that's available, and there's a 30% federal tax credit available.
So the state, I think, has a big piece of this, and I think that allows the vendors then to really have something more to sell and bring down the cost of the total cost and the payback period.
Massachusetts has a portfolio standard that all the utilities need to make, so they have to get a certain percentage of their power from solar power. And what the utilities do, they'll buy your SRECs as a way to count your renewable production in their portfolio and help you fund your project.
The solar certificates was something that we didn't even know about, and they're called solar recs. And apparently for every 1,000 kilowatts that you generate with your system, you are issued a certificate.
As long as I'm producing electricity by these solar panels, I'll be entitled to solar recs, and those solar recs are selling at a pretty good rate right now.
Yeah, there are two models. One is the lease model and one is the direct ownership model. The leasing model is very attractive, especially for those homeowners or system owners that don't have the upfront capital to put down to purchase the system. So you always know for the next 20 years of the life of the lease contract what your price for your electricity is going to be, which is different than right now if you're with the utility. It could fluctuate depending on a number of variables.
So we have 30 seconds now. Okay. Guys, we always have a problem with the ending. But did you notice how some of those panels seem like they almost belonged on those houses? Like they were made to go there? So guys, remember, tomorrow, 7 o'clock at Brookfield, bring your questions, get there early. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to make things happen in Brookfield. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.